Question now.
Uh,
In all these 3 weeks that you guys have left Kosovo, completely different country now, did they ever inform you why they had you evacuate?
OSCE, Organization for Severely Confused Europeans, did not.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
they were holding us back because of the war might get started and things like that. And however, my people in the U.S. government would call me and tell me what's going on. So finally, we couldn't keep people there doing nothing,
Hmm.
and OSCE did not know what the mission is going to be like after the war. So my job was basically to try to keep my people happy, keep them out of trouble, keep them fed, and keep them informed. The Americans were really informed. I tell them what's going on, and if I didn't know, I tell them I don't know. So it came to the point to where I had to start demobilizing people and sending them home. Yeah, and the funny story is I ran out of money. Not ran out of money, but my credit card expired while I was there, and I couldn't get a new credit card. So what I ended up doing is getting my company vice president to give me his credit card number, and that's what I used. Okay, I charged over $300,000 in airline tickets.
Wow.
Okay, to send everybody home. Not everybody, kept a small group. Uh, Towards the end of the second week, they told
Hmm.
me, OSC said, keep some people, we're going to need some help. We did keep some people because they needed some help. And the people that I kept were uh, special forces, uh, ranger medics, uh, ranger uh, physician's assistant, ranger nurses, uh, and a SEAL. Okay. So that second week, they came to me and said, okay, we need to send so many people down to Macedonia, and they'll be spread out between Macedonia and uh, Albania. Okay. In the mission transition, now my people were doing something completely different, and that is collecting data from all the refugees so that could be used in the Hague for the International War Crime Tribunal. They
So
were
they were
basically,
collecting information from the Kosovar refugees
yeah, they were,
to
they, yes,
commit all the war crimes that Serbians committed.
yep. So what they were doing, we were actually the ones that were collecting the data and doing the interviews.
Hmm.
So I was very proud of that. My guys did a great job. And now I had these two operations, and I still had the Kosovo Diplomatic Observation Mission. After 3 weeks in Vienna, I mean, I really didn't enjoy my time in Vienna because I had to go to the bank, pick up money several times in cash. I didn't enjoy my time in Vienna because anytime I came out of my room or wanted to do something, all my people wanted to know what the heck is going on. And I was giving them briefings twice a day, in the morning and in the evening, but it wasn't sufficient enough anyway,
Hmm.
because I didn't have much data. We got, they gave me like 2 days to get my guys ready. So I went to the nearest outdoor store because we left there with just a go bag. I had one change of clothes on me because I was doing medevac. I lost everything. So I took them to that store and we spent about $5,000 in cold weather gear, sleeping bags, and things like that. Okay. And then I gave everybody about $500 to go buy just regular clothes.
Hmm.
Okay? They went in, to do the mission with OSCE to collect data for the war crime tribunal. I went back to Macedonia and Department of State for the diplomatic observation mission. We still had personnel. So we found a location in Ohrid, which is a monastery, and they had a hotel. We rented the whole hotel. We took it over. And we set up our operations there. And then once the war ended, all these operations transitioned into something completely different. We no longer had the military requirements because now KFOR had come in.
Mm-hmm.
They were responsible for everything militarily. However, we became integrated. My personnel were integrated into the United Nations, serving as SIFPOL. Okay, so now my mission transitioned from military, police operations, intelligence gathering, and all that into supporting the U.S. police officers in Kosovo. Okay, operationally, they were controlled by the United Nations. Administratively, and if I had to terminate somebody for cause, it was controlled by me. Okay?
Now, when you say terminate, do you mean
Fire.
eliminate? Fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you do something that to embarrass your country, or something that is considered illegal or immoral, you're staining the name of your country.
Of
You're there
course.
to proudly present your country, and if you do something that was inappropriate or against morality, there were certain things that we had to do. Then I was the man he had to see. Yeah. I was responsible for ensuring that we do things the right way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So our first police officers came in country into Macedonia, and we had a 747 again, but this time we had weapons because this is the first police mission where they wanted us to carry weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a nice Cuban cigar, had military BDUs. Actually, I had a pair of BDU pants, and for the green undershirt.
Yeah.
And wore a hat. Had the cigar in there, and there was a U.S. convoy, and I just tucked myself in between them and just kept on driving.
Now, in these moments, did you feel confident that
No,
not
I
at all?
was not confident, but I had to look confident. That's why I was smoking a cigar. I was scared because I had nobody with me. It was me. Okay, I was bringing that crap across the international lines. So yeah, I was scared. I was scared, and my finally my guy from the U.S. Embassy, he did come across the border, but he didn't say anything to me. He just drove across the border, and I just tucked in and just drove across the border too. He had diplomatic plates. I didn't have no freaking plates. I had a made-up K4 vehicle. I was scared to the bone. Okay, but yeah, I made it up there. Okay. And then we started operations. We started bringing people in, okay? And it was funny because at that point in time, everything was safe, relatively safe, okay? But some of the cops that we had made a big deal out of it. we had one cop comes in, and 2 days later, there's a news article in this paper that says, as soon as he got off the airplane, people were shooting at them and things like that, and bombs all over the place. And it was, basically a lie. You know what I had to do? I had to take that guy and send him home. Okay, because
Because he
he's
took,
lying.
yeah.
He's lying. Anyway, so we started the operation. We had approximately 600 police officers there. Later on, the program expanded to where we brought in police officers that also served in Serbia. They were all under me. Okay. The operations there were run by the UN, and it was there for the safety and security of the local personnel. But also, part of those people went to work at the police academy where they started teaching the uh, Kosovo police force, getting them ready to take over. Okay. At the same time, this is all going on. We also had other operations where we brought in equipment, supplies, to help the Kosovo police force. Okay, we brought all kinds of things. We donated all kinds of things just to support the mission. And I spent 4 years out there. Okay, 4 years of my life in Kosovo, and I traveled all over Kosovo, off-roaded all over Kosovo. I used to know Kosovo like the back of my hand. Okay. It's a beautiful country. I went all over. And the nice thing about it was I felt more at ease and at home in Kosovo than I did in the other former Yugoslavian countries because Kosovar Albanians had a lot of the same culture that I grew up with. Okay. Uh, and all throughout, I had my mission in that I had to do for my job, but I also did other things that outside of my job.
May
Trying
I
to,
ask you something?
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. But you said that Kosovo reminded you of home in a way, your culture. Did it come almost like a culture shock to you when you found out that the Kosovar culture is not as far off as your culture?
no, no.
Uh,
And the reason it did not, because as I moved from Croatia down into Bosnia, Bosnia is also, Bosnians have some of that culture. So it was
Mhm.
that initial, well, I wasn't, that initial introduction to it was in Bosnia. So I wasn't really shocked. And when I went down further south, it's just, hey, from what I know about history and what the Ottoman Empire did, I knew that, some of those culture that is shared between the Arab nation and the uh, Turkish nation, they're similar in a lot of ways. I knew that some of those influences had hit Bosnia, so I knew it was going to be in Kosovo. So it wasn't really a big shock for me, but it was interesting. And all through my time in Kosovo, I did things that were outside my job,
Mhm.
and it is something you feel emotionally attached, but at the same time you feel you need to do something. And me and my group did things for the local people. Okay. Uh, Wherever we could help, we did.
So you created connections, almost communities with the local people that you felt like they deserved more than what you
Yeah,
guys are giving.
yeah, we did things. We did things all over. Donated time, donated things, helped. Wherever we can. So it's I feel a big attachment to Kosovo.
That's lovely. That's very, very heartfelt. Now, I wanted to ask you, even though the citizens saw an amount of excruciating things that no one should ever see, what were some points that civilians didn't get to see, but you guys had to see and witness during the war, during when you guys are going all throughout Kosovo helping people?
The one project and the destruction that happened in the countryside of the different military units, elements, the equipment, the death toll, things that people did not see. A lot of people were not exposed to it, but they would hear of it. Okay.
Do you think that people fabricated a lot of the things that they told others about what actually happened?
Uh, you know, people do tend to exaggerate. However, a lot of the things that people talk about did happen. Some of it might not be the way they told it, but yeah, it did happen. I mean, when the things that you hear where people take truckloads of Kosovo Albanians and they're lost forever. Okay, uh, the way the Serbs have treated the people like they were second class citizens or animals, you know, their disrespect for the human being, and their disrespect because of their culture or their religion. It was really sad because here's the problem. In Kosovo, you had Christians and Muslims, okay? So it wasn't about the religion, it was about ethnic cleansing. They wanted to take over. They wanted to get rid of this entire race that's been there for many, many years. Okay. And the sad thing, they also tried to do it to their own people. So that should tell you something about the Serbs. I mean, they tried to annihilate the Bosnians who were Slavs, the Herzegovinians, Slavs. They wanted to take over Croatia, Slavs. Wanted to take over everywhere, their own people. So that tells you how sick they are in the mind and how sick they are emotionally, the way they're brought up to hate. Okay?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hate all over, even in Kosovo. But you know what? It's a hard wound to heal. Unfortunately, it's going to take generations, but it also going to have to be worked on from both sides.
Of
You know,
course.
I uh, as a nation, ideology should not be dictated to the people. The hate ideology, because if you look at what's going on in Kosovo and Serbia, you guys have businesses that cross the borders. You do business across lines, okay? Yeah, there's hate, but you're still working together.
But in the same time, there's conflict while we are trying to work together.
Oh, yeah, there's always going to be conflicts because of ideology, okay? And the problem is you can't always put somebody that was there militarily in charge because he's got so much hate. He's done so much. He's seen so much that he's not looking out for the best of what's going on. He's
Of course.
looking out for his people in a ideological way and not in a compassionate way.
Yeah.
Compassion is not there. Okay. And I understand, well, you don't know what they've done to my people. Yes, I do. I've seen it in my own country. I've seen hate. I've seen people killed for ideology. The Palestinians tried to liberate Palestine in Jordan by doing a civil war in Jordan. That's the same as the basically Serbs going after their own people.
Yeah. And then people get surprised when the Serbians went after Kosovars, but little did they know that they were doing even worse things to their own people.
Yeah, it's
So if you're gonna do it to your own, who aren't you gonna do it to?
that's where you have the brainwashing, the military ideology, the nationalistic ideology.
Yeah.
Okay, now it probably changed from the ethnic to religious, probably, or there's both.
Hmm.
Yeah.